Now, the South African ambassador to France, Tebogo Seokolo, says that the South African business people will need copious amounts of perseverance and resilience if their ambitions of breaking into the French market are to be realized. Seokolo was speaking after visiting the South African National Pavillion that's been set up by the Department of Trade and Industry and Competition. 26 companies are promoting their products in the biennial Sial Paris Food Products exhibition that opened its doors today. For more, we're now joined by South Africa's ambassador to France, Ambassador Tebogo Seokolo. Thank you so much indeed for joining us, Ambassador. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Peter, for inviting me to your program, and good evening to your viewers at home.
So many of us here on the continent, here in South Africa, know French products, either cars or other products, very well over time. Have you seen, is it something that you're seeing South African exports landing in France?
Yes, Peter, I think this is a good market for South Africa. We do have products that are already firmly established in this market, especially our citrus fruits, for example. For many years, we've been able to secure a reasonable market share here in France, and there's an opportunity for new products.
So you warned South African businesses to be resilient and to persevere. What are some of the challenges that South African business might face and challenges they need to overcome to break into French market?
Of course, what I said earlier on was that we've got to stay the course in this market. I welcome the fact that we're having 26 companies coming to Sial. I encourage DTIC that we should ensure that we keep encouraging them to come, because the buyers would want to be assured that the potential suppliers have the capacity to supply continuously. So it's not a once-off event where you come and exhibit, but it's an opportunity for you to come and show that you have capacity to consistently stay. So that was my advice, number one. Of course, number two is that because of EU regulations and others, it's a market where there are many compliance issues that we need to attend to. They also, potential buyers, look at issues of sustainability and want to be sure, they want to see how the products are being produced, where they are being produced. And so that requires a lot of capacity building. And I'm glad that the DTIC is doing its best to ensure that they prepare our companies for this market. This time around, I found them very prepared indeed. I understand that there were a series of workshops that were given to all these companies. They confirmed that to me as well. That they were workshopped in order to prepare them to engage with the potential buyers during this year.
When the French businesses are thinking about coming to South Africa, I'm sure that they make a first port of call at your embassy. What sort of things do they ask you, and are they worried about maybe, and areas that they think about investing in?
Peter, you would recall that during this year's Presidential Investment Conference, French companies actually made commitments to invest in South Africa. And I think collectively they were the number one. I think they pledged to invest around 50 billion rands into our economy. Most of those companies who made those pledges are already in South Africa. And the fact that they made these pledges was a reassurance that they are confident in the political and economic policies of our country. They are there to stay. And that's a very positive message that they conveyed. But secondly, also they transmit back to France a very positive message about our country. As an ambassador, very few companies have raised serious problems about South Africa because their counterparts, their other French companies are the ones who are telling very positive stories about South Africa. So it's a relatively easy and friendly market to operate in. Generally, the country and the people are positive about our country. And that is why we had in March or April, when we had the Presidential Investment Conference, they could confidently pledge that this is what they were committing to do in the coming few years.
Now, if anyone has visited France, one of the things that they will see and feel and experience straight away is just how phenomenally good their food is. And I suppose what that means is that we have to raise our game, particularly at places like Sial, food products, to compete.
Peter, Sial is a platform that showcases new trends in food innovation. It's not only, and I guess the choice of the trade show itself being Paris, it's not by accident, because indeed they've invested a lot in branding themselves as the gastronomy capital of the world. So yes, in that regard, I think this is one thing they attach great importance to, and they're highly competitive. But I can say that South Africa too is also emerging quite stronger. And that is why even in the bilateral relation, we're trying to bring these issues into our bilateral cooperation program. Opportunities for South Africans to study here in the relevant field in order for us to take some of the best practices back home. There are areas where we are doing well as a country, and there are areas where we could leverage on the French expertise. So our approach is a very balanced one of good countries that are friendly, which understand that there's a mutually beneficial relationship that exists.
I just wonder, in France and in Europe in general, is there an increasing awareness about our country and what it can produce beyond minerals? Because traditionally, I think we're associated with things that come from under the ground and maybe agriculture, but that we have so much more to offer. Is that something that's starting to become aware in Europe?
They are receptive to new products. Our responsibility and duty is to bring to the fore those products. And working very closely with the Department of Trade, of DTIC, we are doing exactly that. If I look at the profile of the companies that are participating at this trade show today, you see new products that South Africans have produced are bringing into the market. And I'm quite confident that there will be a positive response to these new products that are being brought here. But as I said earlier, we need to ensure that we support them in marketing those opportunities and doing so consistently and addressing the correct target audiences. So I'm quite hopeful and optimistic about the market. I think it's what we bring into the market. Huge opportunities in the field of skin products, for example, new areas. Nuts, for example, this is where the studies have shown that if we can increase our supply of these products in the market, we can increase our market share.
Ambassador, we'll leave it there. Thank you very, very much indeed, or should I say merci beaucoup for your time this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to convey these positive messages back home.
Thank you. All right, that's South Africa's ambassador to France, Ambassador Tebogo Seokolo, speaking about Sial, the biennial food exhibition that's taking place in Paris at the moment. South Africa has 26 companies represented there. Stay with us, you're watching The Globe.